Going downwind is not just about getting blown along by the wind. It demands specific skills, good boat setup, and a heightened awareness of your changing environment. Hi, my name's Andy Rice. I'm hosting today's Sailmon webinar, and helping us solve the downwind challenge is reigning Olympic champion in the foiling Nacra 17 catamaran, Ruggero Tita. So hi, Ruggi, and thanks for joining us on the webinar. How are you doing today?
Hi, Andy. I'm great. I'm in here, France, for the World Cup. It's been a great sailing day today.
Excellent. Well, maybe we'll find out a little bit more about that later. You've already had a great start to 2022. I get the impression that you like living in the fast lane, whatever you do. Certainly, when you see this video, you might get the same sense too. So let's just find out a little bit more about who Ruggero Tita is and why he lives his life so fast and furiously. That's Ruggero Tita in the Moth, in the 49er, and on the motorbike. So Ruggi, tell us about the motorbike.
The motorbike right now is sold. It was getting too dangerous to go with the motorbike around. So unfortunately, to focus everything on sailing, I had to sell it and just do something that is in my hands and not put my life in hands of someone else.
Right. Was that team orders? Were you told by the coach or the boss to stop, or was that your own sensible decision?
It was my own and my parents mostly, but
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes you have to stop something to get something bigger.
Right. Well, I'm sure you're going to make up for it with the Nacra. I mean, that comes with its own risks as well, of course. And it looked like a pretty dangerous place to be in the early days of Nacra sailing, but it seems like you and the rest of the fleet are getting used to it now. Is that right, or is there still quite a lot of risk involved?
No, for sure. The first days and the beginning, the first years of the Nacra was quite tough because getting into a boat which was so quick and foiling and with all the correlated problems was kind of hard. And I think every team had some injuries at the beginning, but yeah, for sure, slowly we get into that. We get used to check our gear, because now the boat, it's like a car, and you have to check all your gears, to check the hours that your trapeze hooks done and everything, and be sure that nothing breaks. And so yeah, we slowly get used to it. And now with the new rudder system, which gonna be with the rudder differential, maybe later on we can explain what it is, but the boat gonna be even faster. So we gonna have probably another little period of I don't want to say injuries, but learning process, which sometimes you have to take in account some injuries. But of course, the first few months is gonna be a bit tricky, but then slowly all the fleet will get used to it.
Yeah, well, you've already had a great start to the new era of the Nacra 17 with the rudder elevators dominating the first major regatta of 2022, the Princess Sophia Trophy in Parma. Before we get into where you are now with your sailing, just give us a quick history of how you got into sailing and what your progression was.
Yes, I started sailing in a very small lake in north of Italy. This lake is like 10 minutes from my house, and it's really calm lake. So the winds blows like 10 knots maximum. And I did the sailing school over there, and it was mostly hobby. Let's say my parents had a 6-meter boat, and we were going out with that boat for holidays and for the weekends. And for the first few years of my sailing career was just going out and living like really vacation. But then after that, I started sailing optimist, and I get into the racing. I was doing ski races and all other sports, but yeah, I really liked sailing and the way to how I can compete in sailing. And the coach of the Opti team said to my parent that he was looking and he was seeing some talent in my sailing. So we slowly moved to Lake Garda, because this small lake in north of Italy get frozen in winter, so there was no possibility to train in winter. And so I moved in Lake Garda as a sailing club, and my parents were bringing me to the lake, which is about 1 hour from my house, after school. So I was doing 4 days of sailing, so 2 during the week after school, and 2 days in the weekend. And it slowly got like close to a boundary where I had to choose if going skiing in summer and keep on with the ski guys, or if going sailing also in the winter and try to compete in sailing. And maybe luckily I decided to go on with sailing, and yeah, I put everything on it, all the weekends, every hour of my summer days. And slowly it became a passion, and it became also my major sport. And I started dreaming about the Olympics. So yeah, I sailed optimist, then I sailed 29er, and I was already when I was sailing 29er, I was really focused on the 49er, that at the moment was the most spectacular and the fastest Olympic class. And the Sibello brothers were my idols. I was looking at them, and also the Spanish guys, Iker Martinez and Xavi Fernandez, but Nathan and all the guys that I was looking on the newspaper and on the web. So they were, of course, my idol, and I was really thinking to go on the 49er. And yeah, slowly I had the chance to try to go on, and I did my first race in the 49er, which at the moment I was 17 when I started with the 49er, and it was looking like so big and yeah, very hard to sail. But slowly I managed to learn and to be able to sail it. And yeah, I got to the games in Rio in 2016 with the 49er. It was a fantastic experience. I came back with empty hands, but with a lot of experience. And yeah, I tried to put all this experience to put together a new Olympic campaign for 2020. I decided to move to the Nacra because I always felt that the foiling has always been something in my hands, that I had my first month in 2011. I was like 18 or 19, and I really enjoyed the sailing on the foil. So I thought, if I have this chance, it's better if I put everything on the foil, and I try to do that, and it slowly worked out.
Well, it sure did. So you teamed up with Caterina Banti, and the Italian squad was probably the most dominant squad over the last 4 years or 5 years leading up to the Tokyo Games, and you won the Worlds in 2018 with Caterina. And then it seemed like you dropped off a little bit, and the other Italian team, Bissaro Frascari, they won a world championship the year afterwards. But then we had this really, really late decision about who was going to go. You were chosen by the Italian team to go, and you justified that decision by you and Caterina winning the gold medal last year at the Tokyo 2020 Games. And it looks like you are in a very good position to be able to defend that title the way that you're going. But of course, you're going to tell me that a lot can change in the next 2.5 years, which I'm sure is true.
No, yeah, for sure. It's still a very long way to Paris. We race in Marseille. We like the race area, but of course everything can change in these 2.5 years. But the thing is that we are doing our best. We are enjoying what we are doing, and we are trying to learn the boat, because with this new system we were talking earlier, the rudder differential, which is something, let's say, very cheap as a modification, but will make a lot of difference in the boat handling and in the foiling technique. So basically we can adjust the rudder rake, and we can generate righting moment by putting the rudder rake negative on windward, and let's say the rudder is sucking down the boat, and it's like having a third person on the harness. But this is speed dependent, so faster you go and more righting moment you get by the wingboard rudder. And so the handling of the boat will change. We're gonna have much more foiling upwind. Probably the weight of the crew are going to drop some kilos, and yeah, we are ready to fight for sure. Many new teams are going to come up with new techniques and everything, but of course we are really enjoying the process and slowly trying to learn the boat and do our best. So that's the fun part.
Exciting times. You are sailing boats, or Nacra 17, that is faster than most people on this call will have ever experienced, and they may never experience that kind of speed. So just to put you in the picture about what we're going to look at today, we're going to look at downwind sailing at various different speeds, because the speed at which you travel downwind has a big bearing on the techniques and the tactics that you use. So we're going to talk about the tips and tricks that you can apply to your own sailing to help you win races in whatever you sail. We're also going to look at some insights into the technological tools that you can look at, such as Sailmon Max, and how that can help to improve your downwind sailing. So we'll also be asking Ruggi about how he uses Sailmon Max in his sailing at the moment. So Ruggi, you mentioned that you started off in optimist sailing, and that's very common for a lot of us. That's how we get into sailing, where we're sailing relatively slow speeds. I'm going to come back to you in a moment, because I want to bring in Kalle Coster from Sailmon to talk about the techniques and the things that we need to be thinking about in slower boats. So hi, Kalle.